What is the tactical leaping hero's favorite sight to see when he visits New York? The Empire State Building. Welcome to the stream, my friends. Happy Friday. Thank you for being here. I hope your weekend is getting off to a wonderful start. No, sir, I don't like it. We have Ted Zergling first in chat with Lucent Jelly here as well. Welcome in. Welcome in. And Lurkers, welcome in as well. We're going to play some Jump King. We reached a stunning new PB in this game last time we played. That's not where we are right now, but it's where we were. It's where we were once upon a time. Maybe we'll get back there tonight. Probably we won't. But we'll play this for a little while, and then we'll finish out the night with some more Animal Well. Animal Well is turning out to have a lot of, like, stuff to do post-game. I'm really surprised. I'm happy, but I kind of thought there was a strong chance I would finish it last night, but especially with the extra long stream that we did. But there are more secrets to discover, and there's one I just can't figure out. There's one puzzle that's so cryptic. I may actually have to ask for help. I'm not doing that yet. I'm going to try not to do it at all, but I have doubts about my ability to solve it. Got it written down on this notepad, so I can think about it when I'm not there. Maybe we'll get back, maybe even progress, maybe bog again. Probably bog again. We came close. We should have fallen into the bog last time, and I somehow got lucky and we didn't. I had a fall that should have landed me in the bog, but somehow did not. Oh, I checked the VOD, by the way. Oh, we have a raid coming in. Welcome in, raiders. Losses, thank you for the raid. Very grateful to have you with us. Welcome to Jump King. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. Hopefully you had a wonderful stream. If you'd like to spend some time and chat with us, we'd be eager to hear what you were up to and how it went for you. Punch-Out, the original Punch-Out? I have still yet to really play Punch-Out. I think I played it once or twice when I was real little, the NES game. I I haven't ever really played it like as a semi-competent individual, like to sit down and like make a serious attempt to beat it. I'd like to do that. I'm a little afraid of it. I'm a little afraid of it, but you know, it's got to be done eventually. I can't let a challenging game intimidate me forever. Trying to beat Punch-Out for the first time, it's rough. I wish you all the luck, Losses. I've heard it's a real beast of a game to take down. And it's one of those that's supposed to be like really difficult in emulation, or at least used to be. Emulation's always improving, so. I'm a little bit more familiar with Super Punch-Out. I never owned either of the Punch-Out games. I think my cousin had them both. Someone else might have had the NES Punch-Out when I was a kid. I'm not sure. That one's real fuzzy. But Super Punch-Out, my cousin had Super Punch-Out, and we played that a handful of times together at least. We could make it up to like round 5 or 6 of Super Punch-Out, but that was as far as we ever got. I assume Super Punch-Out is easier than NES Punch-Out, just because I don't really hear as much about it, but I can't say for sure. I have wicked fast reflexes, Losses says, but doesn't feel good enough for Punch-Out. I think the emulation is hurting me. I've heard that one is that one can be tough to impossible in emulation. I'm not taking a boat to get my NES from my parents. Fair enough. I know there's a Punch-Out on the Wii as well. I've never looked into it. I feel like Punch-Out on the Wii has potential to be decent. Like I feel like it's an area where the motion controls could potentially make the game, like it could potentially be a lot of fun. I don't like motion controls, but it seems like there's potential with like a boxing game if it tracks well. Since it just seems like such a natural fit, right? Super Nintendo didn't add much. The Mike Tyson branding made the NES kind of legendary. Welcome in, EpiPen. I think I have the Mike Tyson version of the game. I think just about everyone does. I think the non-Mike Tyson version is the more rare one, right? With Mr. Dream, is that who replaces Mike Tyson when the license expired? Mr. Dream. Emulation makes things more difficult, but wouldn't call it impossible, Zergling says. I can't say. My emulation expertise is virtually non-existent. Everything I know, everything I think I know about emulation is hearsay. Don't think I ever beat Tyson myself. I can't say for certain that I can't say for certain if I've ever been any further than Glass Joe. Hey, Baron Metz, welcome in. Welcome to Jump King. Not for trying. We went hard at that game in my youth, EpiPen says. I mean, I've heard it's super tough. It's got a reputation. Punch-Out. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is the Dark Souls of 8-bit boxing games. I guess if that were really true, I just made that comparison because I know it's dumb. By the way, disclaimer, I knew I was saying something dumb, but then I thought about it for a moment. I was like, if that comparison were really true, then Punch-Out would need to be way easier than its reputation. Jump King is the Dark Souls of Jumping King games. Yeah, people always call everything the Dark Souls of X, the Dark Souls of Y, the Dark Souls of Z. The thing about Dark Souls too is just like yeah, I didn't first try hardly anything in the game, but if anything at all, I don't remember if I first tried anything. But you know, I got stuck a few times. There were quite a few boss fights that took a few nights, but the game was never like hopelessly difficult. I never felt anything. I never felt anything close to the despair that something like Jump King could induce in me. Jump King was so much worse than Dark Souls. Nothing ever felt impossible in Dark Souls. I always was I don't ever remember being hopeless. Maybe I was a little bit here or there, but I honestly don't remember any hopeless times. Except maybe about being lost. The hardest part about Dark Souls is finding my way to the next boss in the late game. It became that where it wasn't really so difficult to defeat the bosses. It was just difficult to find them. What's the PB for Ghost of the Babe? I made it up to a place called the Halted Tower. There's an area. There's two. What do we call them? There's two environments above this one. There's a place called the. Well, there's this cat mansion. There's one environment above that. That's the Phantom Tower. The next environment up above the Phantom Tower is the Halted Ruin. That's as high as I've been. Is into the a couple screens into the Halted Ruin. It's got all these waterfalls, and it's difficult because your physics change mid-jump as you pass through the frozen waterfalls. It's really weird. I actually made it back up to that area 4 times last night. I kept falling back down here, but I kept making it back up there. I made it up there 4 times in one night. First time I ever got up there. And I got back up there again and again and again. So naturally tonight I probably won't reach that area at all, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, no Dark Souls 2 yet. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I really very desperately want to do Dark Souls 2 this year. Before the calendar reads 2025, I want to have started my Dark Souls 2 playthrough. Maybe in August or September. I'm also kind of thinking about starting an Animal Crossing playthrough, so like I kind of think that those could go really well together. I could do nights where I do part Animal Crossing, part Dark Souls. I think that's a good match. I don't want to work on Dark Souls 2. I gotta beat Jump King first, though. I don't want to play Dark Souls and Jump King at the same time. we gotta beat Jump King before I start Dark Souls 2. I gotta be able to have something where I can expect regular progress on the schedule. Dark Souls mostly felt fair. There were some janky hitboxes at times, but for the most part, if you died, it was your own fault. I probably would have been better at Dark Souls if I were better at the game and didn't try to cheese everything. I thought it was good. I didn't even mind so much that it's like a numbers game, because I really don't like numbers system in games. All the stat nonsense is just very bogus to me. But it didn't really bother me in Dark Souls, because there was only one time in the entire playthrough where I had to intentionally grind my numbers up. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good considering I played more than half of the game with a big monster on my head that was absorbing half my experience. That's pretty good. The archers in Orlando are pretty cheap. Yeah, I had a lot of deaths. I had a lot of deaths on those ledges. If you wait long enough, Dark Souls 2 will have retro achievements. Or if they add retro achievements for it on real hardware, I'll be ready to go. Seems like a weird idea to add retro achievements to games that already have achievements, right? Don't PlayStation 3 games have achievements by default? Doesn't mean you can't add different ones. It just seems really weird. It seems time would be better spent creating sets for more truly retro games. Can we get that in writing? When Frownie beats Jump King, he'll start Dark Souls 2. There are no promises about the schedule on this stream, Zergling. I'll make a schedule on Sunday and throw it away on Monday. That's just how this stream goes. I got to play what I want to play. If I'm not playing what I want to play, what's the point of the stream? I do want to play Dark Souls 2, though. Finding cheese in Dark Souls is pretty fun. The only boss that I really cheesed, though, was Seath the Scaleless. I don't think any of my strategies for any of the other bosses really count as cheese. For Seath, I was able to just tuck myself into like a polygon seam behind my shield, so there was really nothing he could do, and then I just slowly chipped away at him with arrows from what was practically perfect safety. Dark Souls 2 gets a lot of flack, but I think it's really good. I hear, like, I've had people come in and tell me Dark Souls 2 is their favorite in the series, and I've had people come in and tell me that Dark Souls 2 might as well be skipped over and just go directly to Dark Souls 3. Like, I've heard both extreme opinions from multiple, like, each from multiple people. It's interesting how polarizing that game seems to be. I'm attempting to just stay in the dark and know nothing about it for my playthrough. So I'm so I can get an honest, natural like impression of it when I play it. See where I land on the spectrum. Oh, did I say welcome in, Chozo? Very grateful to have you here, Chozo Brain. Thank you for joining us. All the Souls games can be 100% offline without looking stuff up. Good luck, Frownie. I didn't look up anything for Dark Souls 1, so I'm sticking to it. I'm down to I mean, I don't think I'm gonna 100% Dark Souls 2. I didn't 100% Dark Souls 1, but I'm gonna try my best to make it to credits without looking anything up. And yeah, we're doing it offline. I'm not even gonna connect the PlayStation 3 to the internet. I don't even think I can, right? The online services are down. But you still might be able to... Well, I don't know. Seath's story is a sad saga. Thank you for the 7-stream streak, Chozo. Very much appreciate a full week of fine company. Oh yeah, I figure people make their own servers for them. I mean, I think that there are people have made their own servers for Super Mario Brothers 35. If a game is decent enough, fans with some know-how seem to find ways to keep it alive. Oh, the Souls game's achievement sets are 100% doable offline. I'm not committing to 100% achievements in any of the Souls games yet. just credits. All my first playthroughs, I want to be complete. I hope will be completely blind to credits. And then we'll see about opening the gate to some backseating down the line. If we do a replay or if there's post game stuff, then, or if we do like New Game Plus or something for any of them. We'll see about a little backseating then, but the initial commitment is as much as I humanly can, blind to credits. On PC, the Souls community did private servers from early on because the base game didn't have good matchmaking. So if you want to play specific friends, using some mods and private servers was necessary. Two kielbasa's, a pound of steak, 400 milliliters of raw milk. To be fancy, cuts 4 fresh water chestnuts to cook with the steak. Tasted like crunchy little sweet potatoes. Doubt I'd do it again. too much work, but they weren't terrible. I don't know if I've ever had a freshwater chestnut. Jelly and I picked up a pizza for dinner tonight. We were planning on making chicken and vegetables, but we went out to run some errands and ended up stopping in a bunch of thrift stores, and the whole day ran away on us, so pizza it was. Had to get a bunch of ant poison. We get ants in our yard. Like, I can't even compare it to anything. We get so many ant colonies in our yard. It's a nightmare. Don't have any problems in the house. Haven't had a problem in the house yet. Don't want any problems in the house. But every spring when it warms up, we spray a barrier poison around the house, and I'm gonna go and give some of those colonies a bad day as well. Doesn't really, you know, there's no way to get rid of all of them, but you can kind of slow them down a little bit. It's like, you know, the fight against the ants is like boxing the wind. There's just nothing I can really do about it, but the poison helps a bit. You'd love Australian bull ants. Oh. I don't like backseating anyway. I do like giving some help. I wasn't trying to accuse you of anything, Chozo. I like giving some help. If the streamer or YouTuber is asking for it, helping people into the Dark Souls 1 DLC. Yeah, I'm probably, see, that's help I'm probably eventually gonna need. But there's always a chance I can figure something out on my own. I mean, I definitely didn't find the DLC. I did find one optional area in Dark Souls 1. I found Ash Lake all on my own. It might not be much, but it's something I could have missed and did find. So I didn't miss 100% of the optional content. Just, you know, most of it. Yeah, but behind the illusory wall in the tree. Fresh chestnuts are a pain in the neck to deshell, but are much more juicy and sweet than the canned ones. So I read that, like, I wasn't thinking like fresh water chestnuts. I was thinking freshwater chestnuts, like as opposed to saltwater chestnuts. Which probably don't exist. I don't know that I've ever had a chestnut. The only thing I really know about them is you roast them in Christmas songs. What kind of pizza? I'm getting some Portuguese chicken and sides from a place called Oporto in Australia. I had just pepperoni pizza, like a New York style pizza. We have a place near our home that makes a really good, like, New York style pizza. But I just go for the pepperonis. Jelly had something because they do like the by the slice, as well. So we got a pizza to share, but Jelly also got one of the like by the slice pizzas that was something like Philly cheesesteak, I think. It's too adventurous for me. I couldn't eat it, but she enjoyed it. I had a small brain moment there where I completely forgot where I was in the tower. I'm right at the beginning, but I had no idea. I was almost panicking. I had no idea what to do. Nom nom nom. We have this big. So on the side of our house, like our property is kind of thin on the side of our house, and um that's where our propane tank is. And there's also this like great big purple bush over there, like, so it's a narrow squeeze. And I needed to cut the grass around the propane tank, and there was this great big bee buzzing around in the, like, one of those big, like, fat bees that like have the one stripe of yellow on their back. I don't know my kinds of bees, but like it's like one of those great big bees that like they bore holes in wood to like make their nests or whatever. I think is how they get around. I don't know. It's just giant bee buzzing around the bush where I needed to mow and wouldn't go away, and I didn't want to get stung. So I had a bottle of like the wasp and hornet spray, which I don't even know if it works on bees, but I was like, well, they're close enough, right? So I went over there and tried to spray the bee, and he failed. He got away from me, but I did succeed in completely destroying the bush. All of the flowers and leaves on the bush are dead. The poison killed it. That bee got the better of me. He tricked me into destroying my own bush and then flew away off into the sunset. Made me look like a fool. I like that the bush is purple naturally, since I like purple, but I mean, truthfully, I don't really care about the bush at all. I'd be happy to just rip it out of the ground and throw it away. If it's gonna attract bees, it's really not useful to me at all. Jelly likes to have bushes and flowers around the house, but I could kind of care less about the shrubbery. It seems to be more trouble than it's worth. We'll see. We'll see if the bush recovers. I don't know. It might be done for. It's shocking to me. It's kind of shocking to me how much trouble. It's kind of shocking to me how much trouble I have with insects. Like I guess they're troublesome everywhere you live, but it's just like the thing is, in Wisconsin, like it's too cold for them to like even exist for at least 75% of the year. So like I don't. Why do they even bother to be here during the regular months, during the warm months? It's just gonna be a wasteland of snow and ice soon. Anyway, that's the thing about bugs. They don't think long term. But we've got a, it's just, I'm fighting a war on multiple fronts, because we've got ants all over the lawn, and we've got hornets and wasps and bees. Constantly trying to build nests everywhere they can get away with. If I close one eye, if there's anywhere I don't look at for like more than 2 days, a wasp nest will appear there. And then I've got mosquitoes coming up out of the river. And the mosquitoes are just wild. I cannot believe. It's like when you see like a picture of a city that has like really terrible air pollution, and there's just like all these black clouds in the sky of like smog hanging over everything. My backyard looks like that, except it's a cloud of mosquitoes. Hey, Game and Fit, welcome in. Hope you're well today. Back to the grind indeed. I'm just lamenting all my many problems of the various types of bugs that are trying to eat apart myself and my home. How many Jump Kings does it take to screw in a light bulb? Just one, but it takes them a long time to get up there. I don't have a punchline for that, but you do. We lucked out. We each had a piece of the riddle and just didn't know it. It's gonna feel so strange when we finally do. When I finally do finish Jump King, it's gonna feel so strange having, like, getting these 2 hours every night back. Because, I like Jump King, and I really want to beat it, but the Jump King project does eat up a lot of the stream real estate. 2 hours a night is a lot of time. Like that really adds up. You're right. I pulled or strained my back while walking. Oh no, I don't like to hear that game and fit. Currently on ice. I'll stick to 30-minute walks for a while until I get used to it. How long were the 10K walks taking? I think you said that... Did you say that took 2 hours? I was only aiming for 7.5K today, but there was no way I was going to make the 10K. It's a pretty heavy amount of walking to jump into. Yeah, 2 hours-ish, just for just over an hour this time. Two-hour walk can be no joke, and especially depending on, like, I mean, I don't know what the landscape is like where you live, like how hot it is, and like how many, like, hills and valleys you have to trudge through. If you live in a really hilly area, like, 2 hours can be super brutal. I live right across the street from a large park. It's pretty flat surface most of the way. Oh, that's nice. I don't really have any parkland within reasonable walking distance right now. But there's a super nice park that's just a short drive away. It's got a lot of wooded area with hiking trails in it. It's got these giant boulders you can climb around on as well. It's kind of fun. But the walking trails in the woods, they're super rugged. There are rocks everywhere, and it's rough. Like there's no stairs or anything. There's just you're climbing up and down rock formations anytime the elevation changes, and it changes a lot. It's a lot of fun. But you got to be careful because you can really easily stumble and mess up your ankle, and that would not be fun. So you gotta walk vigilantly, but it's a lot of fun. It sounds like level 5 and I'm still on level 2. Yeah, it's pretty intense. I like to get out there and walk around it when I can, but it's like we take it real slow when we... It's a leisurely journey, enjoying the scenery and really watching our step. Been at it for about an hour tonight, and I've been to the tower one time, I think. Tonight is not my night for Jump King, I can tell. I don't feel bad. Like, it's not really wearing me down, but I'm just like, I'm very much am on autopilot, I feel like, and I'm just not doing my best. Which usually, like, when my brain kind of shuts down and I play on autopilot is usually when I do the best. Is usually when I do the best in this game. when I'm not thinking too hard about it. When I'm just ramble about something and only play with half my brain. It's usually easier to do well, but. Oh, I never finished my thought earlier. I watched the VOD. When we fell back down here, the cat did speak English. This cat right here can speak English because what it said to me was, why don't you try landing on your feet instead of your face? When we fell down here from the halted ruin, this cat spoke English. One line. It's the only time I think it said anything in English. It said, why don't you land on your feet instead of your face? The park here is pretty crowded around 6 to 8 p.m. hours. I'd say there's around 150 to 200 people. That's a lot. Yeah, I definitely want to be able to go at on some off days, or at least at some off times. So the thing is, your face plants are the only thing that count as a fall. Like if I fall off here, like if I walk off this ledge and like that doesn't count as a fall. Even if I like bonk around like that doesn't increase the fall counter either. Like if I do something like that, well, I landed higher than I started, but if I do something like that and land lower, that still it only counts as a fall when you face plant. I was pausing to check last time. So we're not at 10k face plants yet. We're only at 6.3. We're getting there. Yeah, I kept pausing it last night because I got curious about that. What actually increments the fall counter, and it's just the face plants. Because there are challenges for the game that where you have to beat the game with fewer than X number of falls. That's how I was thinking, well, how hard is that? Because if walking off a ledge and repositioning yourself can accidentally count as a fall, like that's really tough. But that's just the face plants, it seems. Yeah, yet. Yet is the key word. We're probably going to get there. I think this playthrough is going to end up longer than my first playthrough. We're almost 2/3 of the way there. If you count total time with main game and DLCs, then the playthrough of this may just end up being longer than the Dark Souls playthrough. We kind of joked about that once upon a time, but I mean we're at 150 hours, and Dark Souls is just under 200, so I could easily see myself spending 50 more hours in this cat mansion. No, this is it. This is the final quest. We did DLC 1 first, and then I did the main game real quick, and then and now this is there's only 2 DLC, and this is the second one. So if I hit credits on this path, then we're pretty much done. Unless someone wants to donate a PlayStation 4 to the stream, so I can start a new playthrough and try to get all the achievements, all the trophies for Jump King, we're going to be done when we hit credits. And if anyone's thinking about that, well, I don't have a P.O. box, so... What a shame. What a shame. I'm going to have to decline that generous offer. I just donated mine. Grandma needed a stream box, a $400 stream box. The finest there is. How many subs? How many subs would get one? Well, they're $400, then like 800 subs? No, that's not right. That's not how math works. $200 subs? I did it backward. I'll tie it to a bunch of balloons. It'll get there someday. No. I'm gonna have to move. Oh. The new PlayStation 5 is 500. PlayStation 4 Pro is about 230. About 230 right now, new. That's not bad. That's not bad. That could actually fit into my budget, theoretically, if I saved up a little bit. But we're missing the point, everybody. The point was I don't want to do that. The point was to have an excuse to protect me from doing that. Yeah, what a shame that Nintendo doesn't have achievements. And I just have to settle with beating the game. No extra challenges. Poor Frownie. No, I very much do not need one of everything. That would be so useless to me. Yeah, the point is, I don't, I could have said that earlier. Now I'm down 20 nice balloons. Sell the stuff you don't need, that you can keep the Lear jet and stream from the skies. I don't know why that fault wasn't a faceplant. There's no understanding. There's no understanding the way this game operates. No, what stops me from playing what stops me from playing modern games is not an inability to afford the hardware. If I really wanted, like I'm not made of cash, but I'm not struggling. If I really wanted, I could put away for a little while and save up, and I could have all the latest hardware. But there's just not. I don't see any modern games that move my needle that make me want to play them. Um, they don't. New stuff doesn't look interesting to me. I like uh, I like old pixelated side scrollers. They're what make me excited. They're what's fun to me. Think you'd like Resogun a lot? That's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. I've never heard of this game. There's a ton of neo-retro indie games that are less than $5 on Steam. But you're always playing stuff like Jump King and you're already playing stuff like Jump King and Shovel Knight. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of that stuff on the Switch. It's a lot cheaper on Steam, I expect. If I get a second laptop or a better computer someday, I'll probably start using Steam for some stuff, but like right now the Switch works fine for me for the time being. I have at times considered picking up a second laptop. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it, or to get a stronger PC, which I'm eventually gonna have to get. Eventually I'll have to have a better PC. Just to do the kind of stuff that I want to do. This laptop's been hanging in there, but it's not gonna last me forever. So someday it'll happen someday. But I'm in no rush. Steam's not going anywhere, right? Steam is never going to run out of steam. The Steam Decks are great too, fairly cost effective too. Yeah, I've thought about that as well. That if they keep making those, I might pick up one of those down the line. Resogun's an arcade game similar to Defender. I have no complaints about it. It's fun to just play every now and then. The music and the gameplay is fantastic, and no cutscenes. You do know me, Game and Fit. Hey, we have another raid coming in. Welcome in, raiders. Bestiary, thank you for the raid. Hope you're having a great stream. If you have the time, energy, and inclination to spend a little while with us, I'd love to hear what you were up to and how it treated you tonight. If you need to raid and run, no worries. I completely get that too. Would never hold it against you. But I'm very grateful for you joining us, bringing your people by. Is that Caribos? Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Something in the retro category. We're playing Jump King. I've been at it about an hour and a half tonight. It's not going super well. It's kind of a low energy night. We're last night I was on fire in Jump King. I reached a stunning new PB way up there, several screens above where we are now. I kept falling down, but I climbed back up there 4 separate times. It was amazing. We made it so high up. Tonight's not going very well. I'm not getting anywhere tonight. But yeah, that's how it is. Sometimes Jump King goes smoothly. Usually it doesn't. But we're keeping our spirits high. I know I'm gonna beat it one day. There's no doubts. It's just a matter of time. I have all the time. I have all the time, I have all the patience. So Jump King can only elude me for so long. The victory, that is. I'm having a lot of trouble with that particular jump tonight. I don't think I've made it yet. Oh yeah, I made it once before. Not that it matters. The Sonic art reminds me of a celebrity with multiple divorces. She collects more rings than Sonic. GG on getting past that jump. Thank you, Mats. The hope is that, like, when you have a really good night, the hope is that, like, when you sleep, the, like, sleep process will, like, lock all the good practice into your brain and you'll come back even better the next day. Didn't happen for me last night. Everything we did last night is gone. I'm coming back worse. My brain took the opportunity to lock in all the bad jumps. Threw out all the good ones. You know what I hate? Weekends. You know why? Because Frownie isn't streaming, Game and Fit says. That's very kind of you to say, Game and Fit. Yeah, probably no stream tomorrow. Maybe Sunday, though. You get a Sunday stream sometimes. It's really just Saturdays that are pretty much completely empty. We do we've done a Saturday stream every now and then. Ever since the watch streaks became a thing, I'm kind of like hesitant to do unpredictable streams though, because I don't want someone to get upset with me that I destroyed their watch streak. Not that there's something I think that we really need to care that much about, but I don't know. I feel pressure to keep a mostly regular schedule now that that's become a thing. I believe we did Plock on a Saturday, if I remember right, though. I think that was the last time we did a stream on Saturday, was when we were doing Plock. And what a game Plock is. I love Plock. That game's pretty terrible at first, but if you play it for a little while, you start to get it, and it's actually pretty good. Plock really grew on me. Imagine Frownie makes artisanal sausages on the weekends. It's not a bad idea. You need your sanity break so you don't go completely loopy. I mean, I'd kind of like, on the one hand, I'd kind of like to stream every night, but I almost do. I almost do. For the past couple of years, I've almost streamed nightly. You know, it's close enough. It's like all but like 1 or 2 nights a week most of the time. It may be, we might miss 3 nights if something's really going on, or if I take a little vacation. But I've been around a lot. That's darkly hilarious. Twitch tries to encourage viewers to keep watching to have higher streaks. Ultimately, it leads to streamers discouraged from streaming. You know what? It kind of does. It kind of does, because there has been an evening, there has been a Saturday evening or two where I've been like, I have a chunk of time. I could just go in the Discord and say, guess what, everyone's surprise, Saturday stream, let's go. It's like, well, Probably shouldn't do it unpredictably, though. I'll destroy someone's watch streak and they'll be annoyed with me. But then who knows? Because any given night I could stream for half an hour and then my internet go out and everyone's watch streak get destroyed anyway. Or if you have the bad luck that Zergling had, your watch streak could just get reset to 1 for no reason at all. Zergling was at 97 streams. Didn't miss a single one. Got his streak reset for no reason. And I know he's been here for every stream, because I've been here for every stream. And I was keeping tabs on his streak, because he was going to be the first person to hit 100. So it can it can get reset for no reason. We saw it happen. I was forced to learn that when cable started, one of the selling points was no ads. The more things change. Hey Derek, welcome in. Happy Friday. Welcome to Jump King. This is the highest we've been tonight. Whoa! I almost lost it right there. Alright. So this area is the highest environment that I've been to, is the Halted Ruin. And it's got this weird time shift thing where your physics change, so it's pretty weird. It's a pretty weird area. This is where we made it up here several times last night. I made it up to this area in 4 separate locations. I fell all the way back down to the cat tower and climbed all the way back up here 4 times. Well, I climbed back up 3 times. I made it up here once and fell and climbed back up 3 times. But it's 4 trips up here in total. Not that the precision of language is all that important. Mom and Sis got up early to take her friend back to the train station. Officially going back home, Derek says. Shame things didn't work out. I'm so tempted to ask you to try something on the screen, but I will not. Thank you for holding back. Thank you for holding back, Game and Fit. Especially if it might cost me progress. If it helps me out, I don't want to hear it. And if it costs me progress, I don't want to try it. So thank you for holding back. Your anxiety shot up 200% on the screen. I feel a lot of anxiety being up here. I feel a lot of anxiety on this in this environment. She said she felt homesick, and it was it'd been like 3 weeks, so it was for the best. When Jelly and I were in college, we moved to Thailand together. We went to Thailand as we did a study abroad thing. We moved to Thailand for half a year to take some college courses over there. But when we went, we're the only two people who stayed for the program. A third person actually went with us. There were 3 of us that went over there. But on day 2, the day after we arrived, we got there on day 1. We stayed 1 night. The next day, the other person that came along with us left. They were homesick. They couldn't take it. They had an immediate severe culture shock, and went home the very next day after we got there. It's pretty wild. So it ended up being just me and Jelly for the which was fine. Which was fine. But it ended up being just the 2 of us for the whole program. Not that it was a structured program or anything. It was it was very much a fend for yourself sort of situation, where it wasn't like go to this different college overseas and live in their dorm and everything is worked out for you kind of deal. It was like move to Thailand and figure it out on your own. It was pretty wild. We're the only two. We're the only two that went, who stayed more than a night, and we're the only 2 that ever did, because that particular exchange program didn't exist after that. They only did it the 1 year, so far as I'm aware. I've been out of college for a long time now, so I don't know if they I don't know if they ever tried to bring it back, but I have my doubts. It was good though. We had a good time. It worked out really well for us. But it was it'd be a while. Well, it was rough. It was a rough experience because there was some miscommunication about when we were arriving. like a representative from the university in Thailand was supposed to meet us at the airport and help us get a hotel and help us get like set like we were supposed to have like help and guidance like getting settled in, but there was some sort of miscommunication, so no one was there to greet us at the airport. We had to find our own way into the city and our own hotel and everything, and so it was a little rough because like we didn't have any like Thai language skills, so communication was a little tough, but we worked it out. We survived. I'm still here to tell the story. We actually ended up staying in a hotel for our entire time that we lived there. We rented one of the hotel rooms long term, like an apartment, which was not a great move. It was a good move in some ways because it was really secure. Like our security situation was pretty good. Um, Better than it might have been elsewhere, but we also lacked a lot of amenities that, well, we didn't have a kitchen. So like, that was tough. That was really the only reason it was kind of tough, was we didn't have a kitchen. Not that we minded having dinner out, but sometimes you want the convenience of having your own food at home, something really quick and simple that you don't have to go somewhere for. Yeah, I mean, we could find people with we could pretty easily find people like who had a fair degree of English, so that we could get by without having a lot of without having basically any Thai language. And we picked more and more up as we stayed there, or we picked up enough to like get the message across of like what we wanted or needed. Just knowing the numbers, can help you a lot, because if you know numbers, then you can talk money. And that's a big help. I forgot how devilish this level is. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. Just use your finger for the numbers. Uh, I mean, that does help. That can help. That's pretty universal. Is this a PB? Nah, no. This is like tying my PB EpiPen. I made it up here last night. We made it up here a few times. I think that the floating platform directly above me right now that I'm bonking my head into, I stood on top of that platform, is the highest point I've ever reached. That's my PB. Is that the platform right over there to my left? Right here. PB tied. This is our PB. Let me move that bird. But what about Jay? All this PB, what about Jay? No, I overshot. It's pretty devilish. And that's why we had to climb up there 4 separate times last night. Oh. Also, I can't imagine playing this game not knowing where the top is. Hey, that's me. I don't know, don't want to know. I got fooled. I got bamboozled by the false top at the top of the Phantom Tower. Not really, but a little bit. I didn't really think the Phantom Tower was high enough up to be the end of the game, but it did look like the end of the game, like, compared to the other 2 paths. But I didn't really think it was high enough up. And then we got up there, and there was a bird instead of the babe, so I, like, didn't really know what was going on. I had a little bit of hope, but I wasn't really surprised either that it wasn't the end. Watching you play this, I can't believe that I beat it. What was I going through? You made a wise decision, and you have an accomplishment no one can take away from you. I wanna join you there in that among those elite ranks someday. Someday. I've never been to a foreign country, so I have no idea, Derek says. I've been overseas twice. Like, technically 3 times, but I guess it doesn't count. What does it? How does it count? I mean, I was born in Italy, so technically wasn't I overseas when I came to the States? But I've left the U.S. twice. We left for Thailand, and we left for Korea. So I've lived abroad a couple times. Going somewhere like Thailand or Korea is a great idea. Good to see a place that's totally different than what you're used to, Losses says. Yeah, it was pretty different. It's pretty different because like we lived in Thailand, we lived in Bangkok, and in Korea we lived in Busan, which is like, I don't know if it's a part of Seoul. I mean, it's so close. It's so close to Seoul. I don't really remember exactly what the how the geography worked, but it's just it's another giant, just another giant city, and like just that was like the thing was like a foreign country aside, like I grew up in a tiny town in Kentucky surrounded by cornfields. Like the big like just like the just being in the city was like just like one layer of completely outside of my experience, and then you compound it with like, you know, being in a country with a culture and language so far removed from my experience. And yeah, it was a different world in a lot of ways. I came back to the States and I lived in Houston, another gigantic city. Be careful. Be careful. If you move to a city, it's very hard to get out. once you move into city life, it's very hard to escape. It took me forever. It took me forever to get back into a rural environment. Like a decade. Hey, Tuesday, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's some world-class food to boot. We ate very well. Ate a lot of the same. I ate a lot of the same kind of stuff. Like we found, you know, basically, you know, I'm not a super adventurous foodie. Like I will try new things, but I have a lot of hang-ups, so we kind of settled it pretty quickly into a routine that, you know, got us through most of our days. But I mean, we weren't super rigid about it, but you find a place that has a couple of things you like, and you know, essentially just set up establish a home base. Groove you can fall into, even in a different environment. At least, you know, I do. My grandmother grew up in what is now a part of Seoul. At the time, though, I think it was fields of grain too, though. Well, definitely, yeah, definitely where we lived was not. I don't remember exactly what the relationship between Bucheon and Seoul is, because I don't think they're exactly the same thing, but like they're both really big cities that are like, I think they run up against one another. They're really close at any rate. I think it's fair to say living in one is not all that much different from living in the other. When we were there, they were building a new subway station right outside of our apartment building. Like, our apartment building was in this like skyscraper next to an 8-lane road, and they were doing construction there the whole time we lived there. So it was just oh, you just hear trucks and jackhammers all day long. It was very noisy. It's a very noisy place to live. It's a good excuse to get out of the house. It's a good excuse to not spend too much time in the apartment. Happy Tuesday to you too. Thank you, Tuesday. I liked living in cities. Like, I liked living in bigger cities. Like, the one thing that I liked is that I'm very nocturnal by nature, so it's nice to live somewhere where they don't roll the streets up at sunset. But I really kind of prefer to live where things are quiet and more spread out. The city has a lot of conveniences, especially if you like to be awake at nighttime. But I'm very happy to be away from it. Yeah, Jelly and I met in college, and we got married after we graduated, and then we went to we got married in June, and then by July or August we were overseas at our new job in Korea teaching. We knew we wanted to go abroad somewhere. We had thought about joining the Peace Corps. And I don't really know a lot about the Peace Corps, but I know that, you know, it's like overseas charity work, right? But we didn't really look too heavily into it because they don't let newlyweds join. So it wouldn't have fit our timetable. Or at least I don't know, I don't know what their rules are now, but back then they wouldn't let newlyweds join. So we didn't. So we found teaching jobs instead. I met a couple couples, but it wasn't very common, EpiPen says. Yeah, I imagine. We didn't know a lot of other couples, either. We knew one, and this was mind-blowing. This was absolutely mind-blowing. So when we were in college, we went, Jelly and I went abroad while we were still dating. When we were in college, we went abroad and we lived in Thailand for a semester. When we were in Thailand, we were living, we had rented a hotel room, in lieu of an apartment. We just rented out a hotel room like an apartment monthly, at a monthly rate. There was another American from Texas who was living a floor down from us. And we saw him a couple times, and he was also going to school over there. But when we lived, that was in 2006, and then in 2009 we went to Korea. And when we went to Korea, that same guy who was living in our apartment in Texas was also in Korea. We reconnected with him through Facebook, and he was we were in Bucheon, south of Seoul. He was north of Seoul, and so we got together a few times. But he was there with his girlfriend, and it was so weird because we had no connection other than that. We didn't stay in touch after Thailand, other than just being connected through Facebook. And just like not interacting, but just having each other in our friends list. But after meeting in Thailand, we were both in Korea at the same time, like 3 years later. The world is very small. There were a lot of romancers among the teachers. There weren't, when we were in Korea, there weren't a lot. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. There might have only been one other couple on the staff. Well, I think there were two, but one of them was one of the American teachers was dating one of the Korean staff. So like they didn't go over together like we did. They met on the job. The other couple I'm thinking of, I don't know if they went over together or if they met there. Oops. I met a guy in a chat room for like philosophy or something. Had intermediate chat here and there for several years. When Facebook came out, we connected on there. One day he messaged me after a long time about me posting about Korea and says he taught there before and was starting a new contract soon. We wound up meeting there for the first time IRL eventually and becoming friends overseas after like 10 years of knowing each other. That's I don't know how to explain it. it's it seems like, yeah, it's the same thing. Like, it just seems shockingly coincidental. I need to switch to Animal Well pretty soon. I might have to be satisfied with just one run at the Halted Ruin tonight, if I can't get back up there real quick. And your sister's friend suggested that we move in with her back in Alabama. I was like, no, no way, bad idea. I do have to admit, I did sort of wonder if your sister might end up going down there, since you said that it was your mom and her friend were why were the ones that were kind of not getting along. So I did kind of wonder if maybe your sister would end up going down there. You know me, I like to be careful to like not ask too many questions or pry about anything, but I was thinking about that. She thought about it, but it was too sudden. No time to get stuff. We have our jobs and stuff here. Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't think it would necessarily happen immediately, but I mean, I don't know either. I have a very limited window into the situation, so. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's pretty tough. Pretty tough to just pick up and move somewhere. You know, it's tough to pick up and move somewhere close by. Much less several states. I've moved across several states several times. It's always real tough. Right? Not even counting the moves abroad, right? I moved from Kentucky to Tennessee to Texas to Wisconsin. I mean, Kentucky and Tennessee pretty close, right? But still, a hassle. Tennessee to Texas and Texas to Wisconsin were those are pretty big moves. Her friend wanted you to come right away with no planning. That's pretty rough. I mean, that's pretty, yeah. That's pretty hard to do. No. It would have been a bad idea, and our mom would have flipped out. She didn't even tell her job about leaving, so they were probably wondering what happened to her. The friend? Let's worked at the Dollar General. She transferred there. I have one time. I have one time left a job without telling anyone. When I was real young, I got a job in a call center, and I worked there for 2 hours, and I was like, I think this place is a scam and potentially illegal. I'm gonna leave. And I just left. I never went back. And then someone called me, like someone from the place ended up calling me like a couple days later. And I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back. And they said, well, we have to pay you for your 2 hours. And I was like, no, it's okay. You can keep it. I didn't want to go back at all. Were you selling timeshares? I think it was something like it was like a Sam's Club or Costco type thing, where it was like memberships to something like that. But it wasn't either of those. It was some weird one that I never heard of, and which may not even exist. It was pretty shady. They might have paid you Monopoly money. They would have paid me in store membership vouchers. How'd you even get that job? I'm not. I think it was one of those like through a friend of a friend kind of. It was one of those like through a friend of a friend kind of things. I think it was someone that one of my teachers knew. I don't think that they knew that it was as bogus as it was, but or I mean, I could have been completely wrong, but I don't think I was. Shady Oaks Retirement Village? Is that an imaginary location? I don't trust trees. They seem pretty shady. That's from Up. I haven't seen Up. I've heard the opening montage of Up is pretty heartbreaking. I've never seen the film though. Well, Disney. That's what I assumed. The Disney Pixar film. I guess there could be multiple films with the title Up, but you're missing out. There's a lot of the Pixar movies I haven't seen. I saw like the first handful of ones they did, I feel like, but I lost touch with them a long time ago. I found a genie and he granted me a wish. I wish to become a multimillionaire, but you gotta be specific. I wound up being a multimillionaire in Korean won. The exchange rate not so strong there. Always be specific. There's a lot of cutscenes in that movie. That's the problem with movies in general. Oh, too many cutscenes. Genies like to play on your words. Alright, here we go. Last run at the tower tonight. Fingers crossed, everybody. No! That was pitiful. Hang on. Hang on. We didn't fall that far down. Maybe I can get back up there. Maybe we have a do-over. Alright, here we go. Last run at the tower tonight. Ignore that other one. I'd ask for more wishes. I'm a rebel. Just don't wish to be a genie. That's a scam. I keep falling down, but not enough to quit. I keep falling down just enough to be like, well, technically I haven't lost enough progress to stop. No. Oh no, that was bad. Alright, we're gonna call it a night, my friends, with Jump King. We're gonna switch games. We got to see our PB. We got to tie our PB once, so it wasn't a completely trash night, but it definitely wasn't a repeat of yesterday. That's for sure. It was rough. But we're done. We're done with Jump King for tonight. It was good. Time for Animal Well. Yeah, wish for the power of the genie, but not to be a genie. We'll play more Jump King next week. Saturday, or sorry, not tomorrow, not Saturday, but probably Sunday or Monday night. I'm going to try very hard to stream on Sunday. I know I always say that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to stream in the for a few days later in the week next week. So I want to try and make the most of the earlier part of the week. So we'll try real hard to be here on Sunday night with some more Jump King. That's enough Jump King for tonight. Let's put it away and get ready for some Animal Well. Excuse me, just one moment.